I hope you pardon this podcast for talking a lot about marketing because at the end of the day, if you don't market your business, I always say it, as I said like 10 times before, you probably just have a very expensive hobby and not a business. So that's why I love talking about marketing on this podcast, the Tech Your Business podcast, where we share different ways you can use technology to improve your business and stay ahead of the competition. Today on the podcast, all the way from Germany, we talk with Miraj Shahad, Miraj Shahzad. Yeah, Merag Shahzad. So Merag Shahzad is a marketing strategist. He says he cooks marketing strategies like Michelin star restaurants. I'm sure you know what Michelin star restaurant is. So we are going to talk about that today with him. So welcome to the show, Miraj.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's really an honor. Thanks, Peter. I'm excited to have a nice conversation and share a few experiences and also get to know you and your experiences.
True. That will be perfect. That will be perfect. So now I think my first question will be from what I said earlier. So how is creating a mass marketing strategy similar to running a Michelin star kitchen?
Exactly. So, have you ever tried to cook a dish and you just say, I will cook it as I go? And you still expect to get the same result as a Michelin star chef? It never happened. You would have first of all try to get the right recipe, take really care of the ingredients, is everything fresh, and definitely if you want to create something from scratch because you want to deliver something very individual and unique to the person you want to cater to, then it's even more effort because then you need to do the analysis. You need to create a recipe that is most suitable where you are making sure that the vegetables can be purchased at this season, etc., etc. So you see how much work goes into before you even start cooking, and then still there's a lot of work in the next 2 3 steps of the process until you can cater the plate to your guests, right? And this is a great analogy because so many people just hit start ads on Facebook and then just expect that they are on the same level as Nike, Starbucks, and Apple. So I always wonder, where do you get the audacity? Where do you get the balls from that you're gonna get the same result?
I think it's just the post button just staring at them and oh press me.
Exactly, exactly. And so I always wonder why, even with larger SMEs, I still have to start from the very scratch. Like, what is the target group you want to win? And what are your objectives? Is it more sales? Because in the end of the day, many of the marketing gurus are just giving you sales hacks, digital sales hacks, or is it really branding? Do you want to create a long term value based on your name, on your logo, on the promises and the outcomes you are delivering to your audience, right? So these are totally different balancing. And based on this, I can create the right strategy that is 100% taking all the advantages that you as a business owner or as a brand already bring. Because why should I take a recipe that needs 12 other ingredients and I still need to take time to get those ingredients if you already have super fresh, yummy ingredients at home? Maybe I should adapt the recipe to those things.
Hmm, amazing. So when you're talking about cooking, I'm always very lost because I've tried so many times to cook and I always end up with a disaster. So
It's complicated, but it's necessary, and the same for yeah, and it's the same thing. If you can't do it yourself, it's nothing to be ashamed of. But you need the minimum knowledge to at least understand who is the perfect match
yes.
for your tongue, who can create the right dish for that you can enjoy it. And the same is as a business owner. If you aren't a really great salesman or marketing man, you need to be either or. You need either to be a great salesperson or a great marketing person. If not, for the other part, you need to find someone who is really dedicated, as if it was his business. You might be make him a shareholder or something like that. Give him
Yeah.
some equity, because this brand's DNA and marketing DNA needs to be crafted really from the core bottom.
Really good. So now you talked about approaching your marketing from a sales or a branding approach. So for a business choosing between the two, what will be the difference if they want to go through the sales approach or if they want to go through the branding approach?
Yes, we nowadays, luckily, I don't know, can we mention all the brand names and
Oh yeah,
platforms?
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, especially thanks to TikTok, we finally have all the platforms moving from a social graph to an interest graph. And this started, graph is just another name for how the algorithm works. Socially, it works based on who you are befriended with, what your friends are interested in, and who has the highest number of followers. So this is what you're gonna see on your for you page. And TikTok changed it totally. So if you start watching photography videos, then you're gonna see how to make the better photo shootings, how to work with models, etc. Then you're gonna see all those things. It doesn't matter what your friends are interested in. This way, you will be just into what you are really interested. You're gonna see what you are really interested in. So since TikTok, it's a great era because you can do brand performance. You can do both,
Mhm.
but you need some shifting, because a business who has a huge cash burning rate needs immediate results, right? Then
Yes.
let's put the branding part aside. We can do this later and just dedicate on performance marketing online. And yet, if you take care, just slight care that all the graphics and all the copies are mentioning your brand at least, and have all the same tone, you already have done something for the branding part, right?
Mhm.
And if you want to go for the whole branding purpose, this is a long-term thinking, because you are dedicated to create value in the name, in the logo, and of course in building a community, loyalty, and delivering on your promises.
Okay, so now I think I like the analogy you used about the cooking because it actually makes things easier to understand. You know, when you talk about recipes, putting things together, and getting everything good for your business. So, what inspired you to combine cooking and marketing strategies to use this sort of analogy?
Ah, yeah, that's very funny. uh, I did many internships because I had very strict parents. They said, you
Oh.
are not allowed just to walk outside on the streets with friends, because we might know two or three of your friends, but suddenly there will be
Mhm.
four or five guys standing with each other, and just one needs to be bad mint, and then you all are spoiled. And that's why they always said you need to do something that is bringing you ahead. So I always
Mhm.
took courses. All the courses in my high school, they were blaming me for that the schedule was so long, because I took all the courses and they couldn't put two courses parallelly. And the other thing I did was, in vacations I took all internships. And I did a lot
Hmm.
of internships in different kind of agencies, printing agency, digital agency, and printing companies, but also in shipping, sales, trade. I like to learn about how economics work. My decision was actually never to go back into marketing. But while studying, yeah, because marketing, if you are just employed in a large agency,
Mhm.
you are just a part of a big machine, and you don't have the direct contact to the client. And sometimes, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I thought, I'm 16 years old. I can see that company is actually going into another direction, and they have a different target group. why are we doing this and this certain campaign? It makes no sense because it's outside of the range. And I complained with my leaders as an internee with 16 years
Yeah.
old. I said, it makes no sense. So I said, I don't want to do this again. But when I was a student in business school, I saw a donut store.
Mhm.
Donuts weren't something usual in Germany at that time. It was 16 years ago. There was only Dunkin' Donuts in two cities of Germany. And in
Hmm.
Hamburg, there was an entrepreneur who started with donuts. And I realized there are so many people. When I went to Berlin, everyone texted me on Facebook at that time and said, "Hey, can you bring some Dunkin' Donuts?" And I've always
Hmm.
reminded them, we already have a donut store in Hamburg, and that is way better than Dunkin' Donuts. Why do you still want me to do this? Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. It's just Dunkin' Donuts appears on my Facebook timeline over and over again, and the other
Mhm.
guys don't. And since I always liked to become an entrepreneur and I was in business school, I got tired of normal jobs. So I texted the donut store and told them, this shouldn't happen. In your own hometown, people are still texting me that I should go to Berlin and get them donuts. And this was the first time where I put everything I've learned in the business school, just right from the textbooks, I put it into that business. We immediately scaled within 9 months to 14 stores in different cities.
Whoa.
And it was not only marketing. I went into the core. So I learned about how the dough really works, how much you should fry, it's too much, too hot, etc. And then I got into all these things. And also, usually, very strict parents are usually from immigrant families, usually, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And immigrant families usually also have a mom who's better than any chef. And so I got really spoiled from her cooking.
Wow.
Really. So the first time when I went outside of Hamburg for an internship in Frankfurt, the first thing I really cared was how can I get
The
delicious
food.
food every evening. So I learned cooking myself, and this was when I always thought this is also a very important industry because immigrants. This is the only chance for immigrants if they come to the Western countries to become an entrepreneur and being
Yeah.
taken serious.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of dedication from my heart.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So I think the foundation is from donuts, which is very interesting. Which is very interesting. So there's this thing you described. I think I've seen it happen over and over again, especially with smaller businesses. You said that people in Berlin kept seeing Dunkin' Donuts in their feed. Meanwhile, they had a local business that had a better product, not appearing. And I think that's something I tell people that marketing is a lot of times marketing is just reminding people that you exist. Because at the point where they found you, they probably weren't ready to buy from you. So if you keep reminding them at a point, maybe when they are ready to be close, you'll be closer to when they're ready to buy. So now, why do you think this happens? Why do you think a lot of small businesses start up and they don't want to have a marketing budget? They don't want to have a marketing strategy like you mentioned? Because I've seen it over and over. A lot of people have startup capital, um, maybe 100% of capital, and they use like 99% on the business and don't have anything for marketing. I still don't understand it personally.
uh, so this might be a very subjective observation, but I can understand not everyone is a digital native when he's starting his own business.
Hmm.
And as a digital native, you might have been only a consumer, not a marketer.
Hmm.
Just because you're scrolling all day on TikTok doesn't make you a great content creator, right?
Yeah, true. True.
So this is the one part. The second part is there are too many agencies who can't keep up with their promises. They are great salesmen, but not great marketers. So they can make you sign a contract, but can't deliver on the promises that are written on the contract. Or even worse, the contract is phrased that way. They don't even have to deliver service anything. This happens
It's
really
true.
often, unfortunately, and my heart really hurts. This happens mostly with starting out entrepreneurs and businesses. I think this is the biggest reason,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah. And I think
can't even they have so few knowledge about marketing, they can't even distinguish between a snake oil salesperson and someone who can really deliver.
yes, and I think you have a lot of these agencies to probably take a course, and the course tells them to have this impossible guarantee, and they give the guarantee, and it always works for them because they always just send it out to everybody, and probably, like you said, that's probably a lot of the business owners' first impression of an agency. So once they are beaten, once they get hit by that and they don't get any results, they just assume, okay, it doesn't work, just forget about it, and
Exactly, 100%. And then that is that is another strategic problem to nearly everyone who hires an agency, and this is also mostly due because of all those courses. Because I don't know if you
yeah.
ever took any of those courses or have seen those ads in the past 10 years. I think since Ty Lopez, every course always said you need to niche down, and they always pronounce that word differently. You know, somebody says niche, somebody said niche, and they always say down, 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 down. But now here comes the problem. So everyone can solve only one part of the problem, but not deliver you the whole strategy. They can't help you with
Yes.
all your problems. Like the very famous saying, just because you have a hammer, it doesn't mean every problem is a nail on the wall, right?
It's a nail.
So,
Yeah.
and, and this is a very common thing. Like in the last 2 years, since TikTok is really rising, there are so many short video companies popping up everywhere. But is short form video and also uh, views the only thing helping you in your business? What if you have something that has actually nothing to do with building a loyal fan base? You get gonna get the views, but no one comes into your store.
True. True.
You need the right strategy.
It's very,
I,
very, very true. And I think I've seen that a lot because you see a lot of people, they make videos, they make posts, and these posts go viral. People see the post, they laugh, they share it, but there is no connection to your business. So
exactly,
that's just
exactly,
wasted efforts.
100%. Um, Yesterday I had a conversation with a business partner, and I've told him that before we worked with a large client, it's a nine-figure revenue client here in Europe. The CEO and founder just a couple of years ago said, I have no clue about marketing. He openly said it. I have no clue about marketing, but my gut feeling tells me that all those agencies and my in-house team, marketing team, is screwing with me and my money. And one Christmas, just a couple of years ago, one Christmas, he decided to make himself a gift, and he fired everyone
Wow.
immediately. And his idea was, it doesn't matter how much money I'm gonna lose, but I will take a close look on the numbers and check out about the profit margin and revenue for the next couple of months
Mhm.
before I will even decide to hire someone new. And the next 6 months, it had no difference at all. So the whole
Wow.
marketing team and all of those agencies
Wow.
had no effect at all on
Wow.
anything. and
Wow.
and only then, because of recommendation, word of mouth, he talked with me, and I've told him, yeah, you have no strategy. Sometimes you're catering your marketing campaigns to dinks, double income, no kids. Sometimes you have
Mhm.
campaigns only welcoming kids and telling them the kids menu is very cheap, and sometimes you're catering to someone with I'm not blaming those this target group, but with tattoos and streaming
Yeah.
all day. And the next time you are talking about young female entrepreneurs, it's too many different target groups. No one
Yes.
can become. part of your of your follower base, or they're gonna see you as a love brand because what are you standing for?
True. So now, okay. So now, looking at business strategy, you just talked about this person not just targeting everybody and not having a strategy. So now, for a business who wants to have a strategy that will serve the needs of the business, which we all know revenue and profits, what are the most essential ingredients that they should have in their business strategy to make sure that they are not just targeting the wrong people, or they are not just what they call it, paying and spraying everywhere and hoping it sticks somewhere?
Um, so the first thing is definitely make sure, like Pareto says, 80-20 rule, who are those 20% of your loyal customer base who but are bringing in 80% of the revenue. This needs to be analyzed, and you need to be really hard to yourself because so many entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs are so proud that they are welcoming everyone. But you're standing for no values if you're just welcoming everyone. You're just nice. Being nice never helps someone.
Yeah,
Being I'm not saying kind and polite and this is something wrong, but nice, you know what it means for. It stands for nothing.
true.
So the first thing is be really hard. And once you have defined who is your main target group, and I'm not talking about it's someone who is male between 25 and 40 years old, not those kind of, but an interest based target group definition. You want to know what are they doing in what are their hobbies, what do they watch on Netflix, who do they like on YouTube, on social media whatsoever. Those interests are combining totally different personas, maybe, but those are already things they really care about. So you just need to find bridges between your brand and those brands and personas, and this will lead to a base of strategy. And then, if we are working with clients directly, because we are not only offering the strategy, we are also working with them together for 6 or 12 months until everything's implemented. Then it's luckily nowadays, because of TikTok, you can do some trial and error. Because what works organically on TikTok might as well work on Instagram later as Reel,
Hmm?
as YouTube Shorts. And even better, if it works there, you can use that as ad creative as well.
Okay, so I think that what you said reminds me of something they say that everyone can't like you, you're not chocolates.
Exactly, exactly. And even though chocolate, what kind of chocolate? I know so many people who don't like the 99% or 90% chocolate. And I always think, but that's the pure chocolate. Everything else is just mixed with sugar. And yeah, so
Yeah,
I think you don't like chocolate if you don't like the 80-70% versions, right?
the dark one, yeah. Yes. So I think let's talk about AI. AI is everywhere. AI is taking over everything. So now, if you've looked at the marketing landscape over the past few years, before AI and with AI now, how has AI changed the marketing landscape?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think we had more fear of it than it was necessary.
Hmm.
Luckily, if you are a fan of, I always forget his last name, Naval.
Yeah, yeah. Ravikant, Naval Ravikant.
Yes, he
Yeah.
already said 4 or 5 years ago in a Joe Rogan podcast. He mentioned AI will only lead us as human beings to become even more creative because we don't need to do the boring and unnecessary tasks anymore. And we as a society, as humanity, will develop to more creative parts. So, since I knew that and I had already reflected on this years ago, I was not scared at all. I was telling everyone just invest like 2 or 4 hours a week,
Hmm.
especially not only as a business owner, but also as a private person. Try things out. try things out. You will wonder how much it can assist you in your everyday life. For example, a very small thing. I told my wife, if you make a grocery list, just
Mm-hmm.
put the list with a screenshot into ChatGPT and tell it to order things by the different groups, so that if I get to buy the groceries for you, I just don't need to run around because I walk
Oh,
from department to department in the store.
yeah.
And this time I just can get everything in each department, and it's way more effective
Hmm.
and efficient, right? And like for me, my personal business religion, because I'm a religious person myself, but as a business
Yeah.
religion, I have two words, and I put it also into my private life, that is effective. Does everything I do have a positive impact, and do I do it more efficiently than I did it before?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and in both terms, especially the efficient one, ChatGPT, OpenAI, no, no, what was it? Claude, ChatGPT,
Claude,
Claude,
yeah.
Perplexity are really great features for me. I can have a very beautifully written text for a landing page now, get immediately SEO optimized, and I don't need to invest unnecessary time for that anymore. So I can
Yeah.
make more use of it. And also in private life, before I have a new potential client meeting, I want to get up to date ASAP. And luckily, you have the voice feature, right? So while commuting,
Hmm.
going to my appointment, I can go through with a ChatGPT. Hey, just give me what are the biggest pain points for in this industry. Is it still this from my perspective? Yes, these two are correct. The third one is not so relevant, but this is maybe more relevant. So I can
Hmm.
become a better listener for each industry. Also, if I want to learn, if I want to exercise my language skills in other languages,
Hmm.
English, French, Mandarin, I do this with ChatGPT right now while commuting.
Wow. Wow.
So see, you got to see it really as a big personal assistance, not as a competition, because it's not there yet. You can't tell ChatGPT write me a perfect strategy or perfect campaign strategy. It won't work because it's based on the what it got fed with, and it won't be
Yes.
fed with your exact situation.
Very true. And I think
You,
that's I
you
think
you
it was
might as well
also
use AI, right?
yeah, yeah, I do a whole lot. I think I always tell people that if there was no AI, it would have been really difficult even having this podcast because the transcripts, the captions, a lot of them just AI just makes it so much easier to do everything. So much
And you can
easier.
focus on the creative part.
Exactly.
And do you
Exactly.
use it also in your private life?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. But I think not as much as you because I just took notes of the grocery lists, sorting the grocery list because that's one thing I really don't like going to the grocery store, going to this end, and coming back and going back. So I think
Exactly.
that's one. Yeah, really good use of it. So I don't really use it that much privately, but I think I would explore it a lot more because I think that's one thing Naval also said. I think he said we invent things. When we invent things, we invent to get rid or to avoid doing things we don't like. So I
Exactly.
think that's what AI is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also in private life, I use it really for everything. I don't like to listen to audiobooks anymore while commuting because
Hmm.
now I have a prompt for this. I will tell ChatGPT, you gotta be the author of that book right now,
Hmm.
and we're gonna do an interview while I drive to my work, and you gotta stick to that person's persona. And if you can find a good source for it, if I ask a question you are not sure, then please avoid answering that question, and we're gonna navigate
Hmm.
through like a real podcast episode. So I
Nice.
could learn way more about PR than in my business school.
Hmm. Hmm. I think we are not even scratching the possibilities of AI, honestly, because it's huge. It's
It's
really
huge.
huge.
Yes.
It's
And
really huge.
luckily for everyone who hasn't done a lot with AI until now, I think we are coming to the speed we had in development of AI is now coming to an end.
Mhm. Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if you checked out the current news. Everyone is complaining that the next update of ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini are not so fruitful as expected.
Yes.
So the pace
That's
of
the
development
oh
is slowing down.
yeah. It is. It is. It is. So now, a lot of people try to, like you said, try to copy paste their marketing strategy, copy paste everything, and expect AI to do it. So when you look at the different tasks in marketing in a
Mm.
business, typically, what tasks do you think should be done by humans, and what tasks do you think should be outsourced to AI?
That's a fantastic question. Uh, Let me tell you how we put it in our agency because as I said, it's really important to us to do things as efficiently as possible. That means also
Yeah.
to integrate AI as much as possible. So observation is the number one thing that I personally still do. None of my fellow team members, non AI, no one else. The first observation is done by me. I go through the whole company. Uh, I also worked with a big restaurant chain. They have 50 restaurants all over Europe, and I have visited 25 of them before I started working with them. I talked with the people who work as managers, waiters in the marketing department, with the CEO, IT, finance. I just wanted to get inhale all the knowledge and ideas and everything, and then try to condense it. You will see how many advantages a brand, a business already has only as a human being. You can't put in as much in a prompt to get to put this all into to get the right strategy, right?
Yeah.
So because I had visited so many uh, locations of that restaurant chain, I have observed they have many good-looking waiters,
Hmm.
male and female, young ones, who actually represent the main target audience more than most of other people's in the headquarters. So
Hmm.
when everyone was still on the UGC vibe, we have already discovered the advantages of EGC, employee generated content.
Oh.
And yeah, so this only happened because you still need to get all the data and all the observation as a human being by yourself. And once that was done, then I went to ChatGPT at that time and said, "Hey, we want to create on our main account, on our brand account, these kind of topics, and what could be topics that will resonate with our target audience on the employees' personal channels, so that if those people, if the of the viewers of the EGC content will come to our main brand, they will
Hmm.
stick with our main brand as well."
Hmm.
You see? So only on the second step, because now it's about pure data. When it
Yeah.
comes to pure data, then AI is really helpful. But the first observation you need to do yourself.
Yourself, yes. I think that's a really good illustration of how AI and humans can work together to just create faster, better results.
Exactly. And then a human comes back in because still in copywriting, in my opinion, even if everybody is praising Claude, Claude is doing a good job, uh, and yet it's not perfect for copywriting yet.
Hmm.
You still need a human to do the nuances, of every word? Is it necessary? Is this part of the zeitgeist? Is this part of the subgenre of the culture we want to use to become a love brand, right? As I
Hmm.
said, we are just going not for the demographic parts of the audience. We want to go for the psychographic parts of the uh, audience. And if you want to
Hmm.
take this, then you gotta check what words is the current subgenre using.
Hmm.
Like a couple of months ago, aura. Everyone was using the
Yeah.
word aura, right?
All right.
and
Yeah.
and if you are a good brand and you know that among your target group that word is becoming very popular, how much they gonna love you and become part of your community if you are one of the first brands using that as well.
Hmm.
But if you are targeting, usually targeting 50, 60, 70-year old people, and then use the word aura, then it becomes fake.
They have no idea.
Exactly. And at this part, you need to be someone observing not only your client's company, but also the market itself. And the AI can just assist you with what are the upcoming words, trendy words,
Hmm.
but you still have to recognize, is this useful? Is this not? Is this part of our target group or not?
Hmm. Interesting. So now I'm talking about tech tools, websites, apps, and software stuff like that. What are your favorite tools for building marketing strategies, for business marketing, and even for running your agency?
You mean tools in general?
Yeah, tools generally. Tech tools generally.
Oh, this is a very good and interesting question, but I think I'm not the right person to answer that in the sense of we 100% adapt ourselves to the situation of our clients.
Hmm.
So, unfortunately, our subscription costs of software is really high because we get every software ourselves that our clients are using.
I
Because
see.
we don't want them to break things from A to Z. We just want them, hey, wherever you are stuck right now, we're gonna
We meet
unstuck
you.
stuck your growth.
Yeah.
We'll meet you where you are because this is the fastest way how to help you to grow, right? We
Hmm.
don't want you actually to fire your department. We don't want you to fire all the agencies. We just want to check out what is effective, and how more efficiently could it ever get. And yeah, basically define your brand as close as possible and get find your right target group.
Hmm, interesting. So now, for if a business owner listening to this episode just wants to focus on one marketing activity daily to at least be out there to build their strategy and things like that, what would you suggest that they do consistently?
This is a really good question in terms of, I'm sure this will be the most helpful one. And
Hmm.
yet, and yet, I hope this answer isn't too generic, but I want to make sure that this is as valuable as possible and help the most number of people. Is
Okay.
one message, one channel, and one funnel. Concentrate on this and try to make adjustments at least 2 times a week on it.
Hmm.
Do this for at least 1 year. At least 1 year.
Hmm.
But you got to be honest to yourself. So make the adjustments. Not, hey, I think I'm a good public speaker and you aren't, and you're still trying to adjust everything else, but you as a persona are just not matching the type of vibe that your audience target audience would love to, you know. Then you
Yes.
might give it up and tell yourself, maybe I'm better on the B2B side, me
Hmm.
as a person, as a CEO. Then you personally can go onto LinkedIn and just focus on creating content on LinkedIn. But if you are catering to B2C, you might as well find someone else in your company who is a better face for the target group. You got to be honest to it. But then you gotta stick to it. You gotta be really careful with your nuances you changing, and you should be only changing one or two nuances at a time, gradually, because no one should be left behind while you are processing all those things. And if you are a small business owner, I've learned something. I've created one of the largest personal brands in Europe in different business industries. And what I've always told them, choose something either way. Don't only look out where you get the most number of views. Choose something that even gives you energy. Because consistency is really important. Every single
Yeah.
day for 1 year, can you do this if it just drains you? And damn, you're a business owner. Business is already draining you. And I'm not even talking about you still have a husband or wife and children at home. This is also draining you. And now a third responsibility is coming across, and you still have to do this every single day and become better every day. How can you do this?
Yeah.
You can only realize it if you do something that is fun, is giving you energy. And if you are sending out a message, vibes don't lie. Vibes don't
Hmm.
lie. If you're sending out the message, people can feel if you are in a good mood or bad mood. So choose wisely, be very critical and honest with yourself, and once you've found it, and then stick with it for 1 year.
And I think that that's the hard part of it. Stick with it for 1 year, especially when at the beginning it doesn't seem to be working.
Exactly. I have also developed a system. I think it is working on all platforms, and whatever
Hmm.
way you choose how to send out your message, text, video, audio. It is called the 4 C's:
Hmm.
content, consistency, community, and culture. You need to become better, not from the start, but every single day with the content. And it needs to be something sticky. Don't just follow
Hmm.
the trends. You might get a lot of views, but no one remembers you for something.
Hmm.
Consistency, it, consistency is the same thing with the gym. You don't need the perfect strategy from day one. Just hit the gym. Damn it, just hit the gym. You will become better and better, and the consistency makes the difference. And third is the community. Everything on the internet is community driven. All the brands are community driven. How can you be still doing the same thing as the TV did in the 80s? It's not one way route. You need to always consider, I need to talk with, do collaborations, talk with the community, do outreach, not only within in your niche, but look out what niches are perfect for my business perspectives.
Hmm.
Like, hey, I will have regular communications on X, on TikTok, on Facebook, on LinkedIn with people in the IT industry, because I might learn how to become more efficient with software or whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the fourth thing is culture. Culture is becoming more and more important, because you can't be a brand anymore like the giants used to. Craft Foods, all of their major brands is working with everyone, but it's not working anymore. You need to niche down to a certain subgenre. So respect the culture of the platform and of the medium you chose to spread your. Is it voice? Is it a video? Is it text? You gotta be respectful with that, and that is by honoring it. If you just keep up with the news.
Okay, so I think the first is content, consistency, which I so much believe in. I have on my whiteboard here,
Awesome.
community and culture. So I think that's a great start for anyone to go and build. So now, for anyone who wants to continue this conversation, to learn more about you, to talk more about marketing strategies with you, and stuff like that, what's the best way they can reach you?
Awesome for that opportunity. I'm really thankful for that. Uh, I'm doing what I preach. I am sharing 3 times a week on LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok every single day, sometimes
Oh,
even 2, 3 times a day, and I'm sharing everything: uh, mindset, entrepreneurship, marketing, AI. I'm helping out everyone who gives me a question. And yeah, the 4 C's, for example, I repeat myself, but always from different perspectives and angles. I share, like, what would I do if I wanted to follow the 4 C's as a bakery owner,
hmm.
for example. So if I see there are more people coming in and they have electronic stores, then I'm gonna adapt
Yeah.
it, no problem. And yeah,
Uh,
it's always all over the internet. I am Mirage.
mhm.
IMMERAG. LinkedIn, I am Mirage. TikTok, I am Mirage. Instagram, I am Mirage. Everywhere. Even on
Okay.
Forbes. Even on Forbes, you can find my articles about the 4 C's, for example, also with I am Mirage.
Mirage. Oh, that's perfect. So, Mirage, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Forbes, everywhere. So, your links would be in the show notes and some of them on the screen once this episode goes live.
Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. And I would love to have another chat with you.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Anytime at all. Thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, so for the listeners, I hope you've picked up one or two things: the 4 C's, importance of consistency, importance of having a well-structured marketing strategy and not just clicking on boost post and hoping something good happens. If you want to learn more about these topics, you heard him contact Mirage on social. And if you learned something from this episode, you feel someone else would benefit from, share this episode with that person. Until next week, when we are back with a brand new episode, don't forget to keep taking your business. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. It was a pleasure